Hey everyone, this is Nick Harvey from the OpenShift Online team, and in this video I'm going to show you how to set up the PuTTY SSH client on your local's machine and then show you how to SSH into your application. However, before we get started, I need to make sure that you have the RAHC client tools already installed. If you haven't done that already, go ahead and pause this video, click on the link below, and I'll show you just how to do that. Now, some of you may not be familiar with SSH or PuTTY, but don't worry, I got you covered and I'll take a second to explain. SSH stands for Secure Shell, and it's a way for you to remote into another machine's console through a secure connection. One of the ways that it makes sure it's a secure connection is through the use of public and private keys. Ultimately, SSH is a way for you to execute commands on a remote machine without having to physically be present. SSH is a very powerful tool and you'll use it quite a bit when working on OpenShift. To get started with installing the PuTTY client, I need to head over to putty.org. I'll click here to download, and you'll just need to scroll down a little bit and select the Windows installer for everything. Click on the exe to begin the download. Now that the file is done downloading, we're going to go ahead and click on it to begin the installation. But first, Windows is going to make sure that it's okay to make changes. We'll hit yes, and then next to select the install location. The default here is fine, and again, this default is okay as well. To make it easy on ourselves, we're going to create a desktop icon, but make sure it's only available for the current user. Then click next and install. Once that's done, all we need to do is close it. And I'll minimize my browser and pull up something called PuTTY-Gen. To do that, I just pull up my search bar, type in PuTTY-Gen, and select it. Now this is going to allow us to import our private SSH key that we created during our RHC client tools install. To import the key, all I need to do is click on Conversions, Import Key, and then select my private SSH key called ID RSA. So I'll select it, click Open, and then Save Private Key. It's going to ask us if we want to put a passphrase to protect it, and you can do that if you want, but for this demo, I'm just going to click Yes. From there, I'll just name it ID_RSA.ppk. At this point, we have our PuTTY client installed, and we've configured it to use our private SSH key. Now, what we need to do is get the connection information for the application we want to SSH into. To do that, I'll go to OpenShift.com and log into the console. Then I'll select my application and then click on this link over here that will provide me with the SSH URL. Simply copy that, minimize your window, and open up the PuTTY client. Paste that information into this window right here labeled hostname, and make sure to delete this pesky SSH text at the beginning. The next thing we'll need to do is hit connection, SSH, auth, and browse for that PPK file we saved earlier. Again, this is in our home directory for our user, so we need to click on C, users, name.ssh, and then select the PPK file. Click open, and we're ready to connect. One thing you want to do to make it easier on you in the future is to save these settings that we just did. To do that, I just click on this Save Sessions field and give it a name. I usually name them the same as my application so that they're easier to tell apart. From there, just click Save, and now we have a quick launch button. All we need to do in the future is to select it and click Open. This will open up the SSH terminal to my application. I can hit LS, and now I can see that I have my directories, and I can move around just as if I was on the local machine. And that's it. You've installed the PuTTY client, you've imported your private SSH key, and you've successfully SSH'd into an application. Thank you for watching, and be sure to keep an eye out for more videos.